Happy New Year, persisters and brothers. It's season 5 of Persistence U. So glad to see you. I am so grateful for a long break this year. I will do this annually. I really, really needed it. So thanks so much. Thanks for coming back with me. I am excited for your new season. Happy New Year. And what are you most pleased about when you look back at your last year and review? What's something that you've learned or a way that you've grown, something you survived that you're really going to pat yourself on the back and celebrate a little bit? I know I have had an up and down year and I have loved so many parts of it. And it's the parts that I didn't where I feel like I grew the most. And I'm really glad that Christmas is over. This year was a nightmare, a little family sickness, a little drama in my own little tiny life. And it just happened to coincide with the holiday. And I am so glad to have it behind me. Goodbye, 2024. For Persistence U, I'm going to tell you a few things. I reviewed what you liked the most as according to downloads. Let me know if you think otherwise, because I love hearing from you. But From Poverty to Purpose with Melamere Logan, that was a very popular episode. When Dating Hurts, from Bill Mitchell, who's got his own podcast. And let's see, From Heartbreak to Healing with Kim Sorrell. That was so much fun right at the end of the year. And I really enjoyed meeting Kim. And Domestic Violence Awareness with Hera McLeod. That really resonated with you as well. And the last one is Rethinking Possible with Rebecca Galli. And so those were some of the favorite episodes in Rewind for Persistence U. And I've just been thinking about this last year, like what were my favorite books and my favorite movies and the things that I learned. I will tell you of the things that worked for me was remembering to celebrate effort and not outcome when it comes to looking at future goals. And, just remembering to tell ourselves like, hey, good job. You're continuing to move forward when you didn't necessarily always know the path you wanted to be on. So not waiting for perfection, but really just celebrating that we're keeping on. And times when things get a little hard, at least for me personally, is if I try too hard. So lessons for me are just sort of laying back and letting the universe let things happen to some extent. I mean, I'm certainly goal oriented and somebody who knows what they're working on for the next year. On the other hand, sometimes it's too much. And so just taking a deep breath and having faith that things are going to turn out okay. That has been a big, hard lesson this year. Most proud of really speaking up when it was hard to do about issues that matter to me, like victim issues and survivor issues in the media. And that was awesome. I'm also proud that I've published Tilka Faces the Odds, one man at a time. And the audiobook will be available in February, as near as I can tell. I just spent my last break from working at the college recording the audiobook version in a wonderful studio. And I mostly loved doing it. And I'm so thankful to have help. And so Trey Mullins, yay, 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 yay. In Chattanooga, if you have recording issues, that's the man that you need to see. So really proud of those things. In a personal way, I'm really thankful that I got to hang out with my children for a couple of times this year. Well, a few times, but really focused on being in the moment instead of, because I am a bit of a workaholic, thinking, oh my gosh, I should be doing X, Y, and Z. Instead, I put everything down, make sure that that was a priority, and just hung out with my kids and my family. So that was marvelous. Loved it. This next season, I hope you'll be excited. I am going to, in the near future, have Patricia McLean as my guest. She has Finding Our Voices book group and nonprofit that runs in Maine. And I'm going to have Dominique Clifton, Dr. Fidel Sabaeasy. And that's the most near future. I have probably 10 people in the queue coming up, people who have, whether it's living in Congo and surviving a massacre and, achieving unbelievable things, having survived that on behalf of people who did not. Or like Patricia McLean, creating opportunities for survivors of domestic abuse, the same opportunities she wished she would have had, and a way to let people unpack their stories and create community. So wonderful, amazing folks coming up in the future. As ever, I would love it if you could not just listen in, but share with a friend. I'd love to grow the podcast. I'd love to know what I'm doing resonates with you and that you are actually listening and it means something to you, because I could be doing other things with my time. This takes a lot of time in a good way. I love the people I'm meeting, but I don't want to do it for myself. I do it for you. There are so many obstacles all of us face in our lives. All of us, even if we're not now, we will be. And so hearing from people who've gone through many things and learned alternate ways, everyone has a unique response to dealing with either hardship, setbacks, the need to develop more resilience, and hearing a diverse group of people talking about their own experiences and what they've learned. That is the point. So I'm excited. I surely hope you're excited. Happy 2025. Thanks ever for being here. If you haven't joined my YouTube channel, by all means, please do, as well as my email list. And I write about once a month, and I write about future writings. What I foresee, had an interesting thing happen in more recent, since we've been apart, on this little break of mine. I have long known that I wanted to publish a solo women's traveler anthology, right? Especially for older women who are pivoting and who have maybe gone through a crisis or never prioritized themselves, never done anything to test their own mettle, and now they've chosen travel as a way to do so. So I went ahead and made my preliminary plans, and I'll soon have a call to action for people who want to pitch being a part of this book coming out in 2025. But to finish my own travel memoir in 2025, or more likely 2026, I needed to hit one more continent. So recently, I just went ahead and booked that trip for myself. That was huge. And I will be paying handsomely for it, but I will also be able to write and share about that experience. A younger, much younger friend of mine had told me about how he had traveled to the same place when he was in South America. He booked a quickie trip to Antarctica. And he was telling me that it could be done on a budget, even though we don't think of it being that way. And I went ahead finally, years after he had encouraged me to do this, and booked my trip and thought to myself, I need to let him know that I've finally taken a step of faith and said, okay, I need to do this thing and I want to do it. And between when I booked it and the next day, I learned that he had just died, and barely in his, early 40s, and just unexpectedly passed away. And it was a gentle and wonderful, and he lived a fabulous life. He always had some health struggles that he knew he would want to, there were certain markers that he wanted to accomplish before his life ended. I think he did all of them. And it is a reminder to all of us, even if we don't have those health challenges, even if we don't feel like I have anything to worry about, just remembering what is in our own list of things we must do before our life comes expectedly or unexpectedly to a close. What are important things? A legacy we want to leave our loved ones, or things we want to accomplish in ways we might want to shape the world and change it. And so I am very grateful for his encouragement and very grateful to have known him. I hope that you this year make sure that you're taking care of yourself, know that you're cared about, you have your own unique story, and that you find comfort and joy in listening to podcasts such as this, Persistence You with Lizbeth. Thanks so much. Join me on the mailing list at lameredith.com. And as ever, I am so grateful that you've been here for the while that you have. We are coming up on 200 episodes in this season, and that is huge for a podcast. A lot of people start a podcast and they quit before 50 episodes. So I'm so thankful. This will not go on forever. I'll need to stop at some point, but for the time being, it is my joy to connect you with amazing people, and I hope you enjoy it. All right. Thanks so much. Have a fabulous holiday.